Hi, welcome to this video today, which is on the subject of Forex candlestick charting, just learning the basics of what the candles mean and also various formations that you can put in your trading strategy and will help you make consistent gains from the market. I'm going to review two books and then I'm just going to give some tips on integrating candlesticks within your trading strategy. Now, in terms of the two books, I'm just going to go through why I think they're really good. One is suitable for beginners coming in the markets. The second is kind of a harder read. So you need to read the first book, then the second book. The second book for me is the classic on candlestick charting ever written. Yet very few traders actually read the book or have even heard of it. Right, we're just going to go over and just take a look at the books, and I'm going to just go through the reasons why I'm recommending them. So let's go take a look at them. Right, first book, and it is suitable for beginners. It's Steve Nisen's book, Japanese Candlestick Charting Techniques. Now, in terms of, many of you may have heard of Nisen, he's got quite a few books. He's the most, I think, popular author in terms of Japanese candlestick charting. I like this book. It's the first book he wrote. It's, like I said, suitable for beginners. It's an easy read. I think Nisen's got a great way of writing. He presents a lot of examples of various chart formations and what they mean. He does do a little bit on the integration of those formations, with other technical tools such as support and resistance, for example. Good solid book for beginners. Gets 414 ratings on Amazon, 4.5 stars. I think it deserves a high rating. It's not cheap. Hardcover costs you £74 at the moment. Price obviously varies on Amazon all the time, but if you don't want to invest in the hard copy, you can always get the Kindle version at £10, which is affordable for most traders. So good solid intro. If you like the book, you can go and look at his other books, but I consider this one the best. A lot of people say there's not too much in terms of strategy in the book. I mean, he does do a little bit in terms of, let's say, integrating with support and resistance, but no, there isn't. But you can work that out for yourself, and I'll give you a few tips in a moment. But I think it's a really good book and very highly rated as well. So well worth buying. Second book. This book is not an easy read, okay? Not many people have even heard of this book. It only gets 2 ratings on Amazon. You can see it's pretty old, 1986. The Japanese Chart of Charts by Siki Shimutsu. I read this book shortly after it came out, and a lot of people I know did, and we all rated it probably the best book on candlestick charting techniques, but it's just not an easy read. Okay, it's translated from Japanese, and it could be. My criticism of it is it's a hard read, but there's a lot of info in the book. Some of it's in Nisen's book. There's other formations in the book that are not in Nisen's book. Nisen actually pays credit to Shimutsu because Shimutsu came before Nisen, and in Japan he was the acknowledged kind of leader in terms of Japanese. I said Japanese, obviously, is Japanese candlestick charts. So he did win the Blue Ribbon Medal by the Japanese Emperor. You can see it in the notes for his contributions to the commodity and futures industry. He did actually have a newsletter which was pretty good, and he did some really, really good calls. Just as an aside, I read this book shortly after it came out because I was trying to introduce a book of candlestick charts in the UK for traders. It was with an American company, and in those days there was no internet, so you all had chart books and you kind of updated with a pen and a ruler. Okay, we wanted to bring Japanese charting into the UK, and I had to read Shimutsu's book. Shimutsu used the charts from the company I was dealing with in his book, and actually when I read his book I thought, oh, this is a heavy read, but I read it a few times and I managed to put together a little sort of intro kind of pamphlet, which I thought was it was kind of acceptable. People liked it, but it all came from Shimutsu. I wouldn't recommend going and buying this book before you read Neeson's, though. Okay, so 2 books that I rate. Obviously, you look around Amazon, you find other books, but yeah, for me, these 2 are going to give you everything you need to know. You've got to integrate it into a strategy when you're using candlestick charts. So I'm just going to give some quick tips for beginners on how to do this. So let's go through a few points. Hi, welcome back after that short review of the books. Now, once you've read the books, you're going to know all about this psychology of the individual candles, the formations and the psychology behind them. Then you've got to put them in context and put them into a trading strategy with support and resistance. I'm just going to go through some simple tips. Before I do so, I am preparing an ebook on the subject we're discussing in this video today. It'll be ready shortly. If you want it, you could just join our free mailing list on the link beneath this video, and we'll send it to you probably about 3 weeks. We'll also send you other information on the list, including other techniques that are effective and the best trade setups. So in terms of tips, tip number 1, you've got to decide a time frame to trade. Now, both books will focus on charts that are intraday, daily, and weekly. Okay, intraday charts. In those days when those 2 books were written, short-term trading, day trading worked. Day trading really died out for retail traders after the internet. Markets became a lot more noisy. So you want to avoid day trading. I've got plenty of videos up on how price action has changed since the internet. You can check them out. But you want to focus on the bigger time frames. I'm going to say daily time frame is very good, and so are weekly. The bigger time frames increase your odds of success. Now, in terms of support and resistance, the formations are only going to be valid in relation to support and resistance. Okay, now a very simple support and resistance strategy to incorporate with candlestick formations is round number trading. It's very simple, it's very effective. We've done numerous videos on why, and you can look them up on our channel, so you can keep it very, very simple. Now, in terms of when you're reading candles, you really want to focus on the right of the chart. It's only about 10 or 12 candles that normally matter. You don't want to look at formations that happen too far in the past or on the left of the chart. They've gone. They're not going to give you any clues to what's going to happen next. You want to be focusing on the right of the chart and the big support and resistance levels. Now, in relation to what is the best candlestick formation, there isn't one. Okay, they've all got to be seen in context. Okay, and when I say context, I'll give you a simple example. If you had something like a hammer reversal, that means a lot more if the trend has been strong against the hammer than if it occurs in choppy sideways action. There's plenty of formations that work, okay, but only in the right context. We've all got our favourites. I've got my particular favourites, which I'll put in the ebook. But it's all got to be seen in context. Also, in terms of regular viewers, I know what I'm going to say next probably. You can develop a very simple technical trading strategy with support, resistance, and candle formations. Okay, but what you should do is always have a directional bias first from the sentiment behind the chart. That will make your technical analysis a lot more effective. And we've done numerous videos on sentiment, which you can look at. You don't need to do anything complicated. Get your bias first. That make your technical analysis more effective. Right, think I've covered everything I need to in this video, so that is it for today. Thank you very much for watching me. As usual, take care. Have a good day.